Welcome to the Mike Kellar Show. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Coach. Initial reaction to Saturday's 42-23 win?
Well, going on the road and getting a league win, is always good. We came out a little rocky.
Mm-hmm.
West Virginia Wesleyan, I think they played hard. You could see they had some skill. They could throw the ball around a little bit, but our players, everyone knows they've struggled the last few years in football, and I don't think they've won a game the last 2 years. Yep. That's not an easy game mentally to get your team up for, even though I tried every coach's trick in the world, all week long with the way we practiced. And I was proud of our team, the way we were prepared and the way we did things. But I just think in the back of their mind, they wanted to hurry up and win the game instead of taking it play by play and doing what they had to do. You go in a game like that and it's tied at 14, everyone's a little bit tighter. And I think at the half, you could just see it on the team's face. And part of my job at the half, Coach Hill did a really good job at the half getting on them and getting them motivated. And then my job was really just to say, hey, fellas, here's the situation. It's 14-all, and we get the football. Let's go down and score and get some holds and put together some drives and stop them on defense, and then we can win the football game. Let's approach this game like we do every game. And what I told the team all year is we've done nothing easy the entire year. We are a grinded out, win games the hard way football team. We're a mentally tough unit. Why would the day be any different? Yep. So they were. I was proud of the team and the fact that they did that in the second half. We were able to come away with a win. And
then on the offense side of the ball, you had 499 total yards of offense. Xavier Wood had 26 rushes for 161 yards and 2 touchdowns. What did you think of his performance?
Oh, he was critical to us. I mean, we got the run game going. We were running a little counter play, a little outside zone play to complement the counter play, and Xavier was reading it really well. Obviously, that doesn't happen without the O-line. Coach Harmer's done a good job with that group. We were playing 4 seniors. That was a group that did a really good job blocking for us all season long. They started it with opening the holes. Anthony puts us into the right play a lot of times with the way our system works, and then the receivers are critical blocking down the field and a lot of the RPOs and stuff they do. So it's a team effort, but Xavier was getting, he really had it going, and he made some really good runs. Made some guys missing the hole, turned sideways a couple times to get some extra yards, and then he's really good once he gets in the secondary.
And then Tariq Miller had another huge game, 6 catches, 120 yards and a touchdown. He was just announced as an All-MEC second team. How important was he for you this year?
Oh, he was huge for us all year long. I mean, North Marion kid, I'm a Harrison County guy. He's a Marion County guy. Know that staff there really well. The recruitment of him, getting him to come here and seeing him develop, into an all-league player as a junior was a sight to see. The best thing about 3 weeks, we got another year with him, and he was really huge for us all year long. I mean, he was the one guy that was consistent at the wide receiver position for us, and he probably would have had more production if us as a group, if our young kids would have grown up earlier in the year. I think that would have got Tariq some more one-on-one coverage, and I think his stats could have been even better.
And then Jamair Diaz was a monster all year. MEC Defensive Player of the Year, leads the nation right now in tackles for loss, tied for the nation's lead in sacks. What was it like seeing him do what he did this year?
Oh, it was great. When we got him out of Milford Prep up in New York in mid-year a couple years ago, and to see, he started out as a really good athlete who was trying to be a linebacker, part-time linebacker or part-time defensive end. We went to a 3-down scheme where we could move him a little bit more, where he could rush the passer on the 4. Very similar to what the Steelers do with Watt, what the Giants back in the day did with Lawrence Taylor, where they're that 3-4 outside linebacker. The difference is now sometimes we'll stack them and put them inside, and then in the 4-down nickel stuff, they go to defensive end and rush the passer. But he's an explosive kid. He got a very good, he got a good anticipation for the snap count, and then he makes the plays when he gets there. I mean, Saturday he was unbelievable, and he probably missed 2 or 3 sacks. I mean, so he's been big for us all year, and the same with Tariq. I mean, the best thing about him is we got him for 2 more years. So we're excited about him, and I'm just now finding out that he was Player of the Year. We just broke before the show started, and I'm not surprised. I thought he was going to be the Defensive Player of the Year, but sometimes as a coach you get partial to what you think your guys are going to be. But I'm really happy for him.
And then Jaiden McLendon Parker also got honors MEC Defensive Freshman of the Year. He came in. Brandon Penn got hurt earlier in the year, made him step in a little bit earlier probably than expected. What was how impressive was it to see him do that? What he did as a freshman?
Well, he's replacing Brandon, who hurt his groin, and I think probably played maybe 20 plays the entire year.
And he was a former all-conference player as well.
All-conference. I think he was on some All-American teams a couple years ago. We'll have next year we should have both those guys at safety. So him to come in as a freshman and do what he did, it's a testament to Coach Jamair and the defensive staff and the development of our secondary that they could play a freshman like that, and he could go in and do what he did. Again, I saw the list of the freshmen. I thought he would be the freshman of the year, but I think that every year, and I'm always wrong. So it was he had a very very good year for us. Very rangy back there. You know, covers a lot of ground and judges the ball well in the air. And he's got to become a more, you know, he got to grow up some into this tackling and some of that stuff. But he's a guy who, you know, obviously coming into the year, we thought Brandon would be the starter and he would be a backup and help us some and really be a good player a year from now. For him to come into what he did as a freshman is awesome for him.
And then also in the All-MEC teams, you had 11 guys total. I'll run through them real quick. Peyton Hawkins and Jamair Diaz and Mark Shepard were first team. Tariq Miller, Isaiah Macklin, Hayden Moore, Sean Sterling Jr. were second team. And then Josiah Wade, Justin Collier, Josh Carr, and Bergen Brown were honorable mention. Your thoughts on getting that many players on the list?
Well, when you finish second in the league, that's usually what happens. I got to imagine, and I haven't saw it, you know, Charleston won the league. They probably had more.
Yeah,
you know, so that's kind of, you know, Coach Rodriguez, when I was here, used to say, if you want to be all conference, win the league. You know, so
best way to do it.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. So finish the second league probably had a lot to do with it. Macklin's second team, I knew there's D-lines inside out. I mean, there was a couple kids who were right there, but I thought he was a first-team performer.
Sterling Jr.
Sean Sterling, wow. I mean, I thought he was a first-team performer. But you know, there's some good players in those positions. So the secondary, the kind of the way they do it, I could see that because there's corners and safeties all at once. So you kind of see how the voting can get kind of leveled out there. You know, Macklin, that shocks me. But the guys who made it, Mark Shepard, I think is a no-brainer. I think Peyton's a no-brainer. Diaz was obviously a no-brainer to me. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. The guy who, you know, because of the way we played this year, you know, Anthony really I thought was the best quarterback in the league, and for him not to be on it doesn't surprise me because guys are just going to look at stats and all that. But I don't think anyone would trade. I know I wouldn't trade him for anybody. So but all in all, I'm pretty pleased with it.
And then now looking back at the year, you went 7-4 overall, went 7-2 in the MEC, which like we mentioned, second place in the league, highest in program history since MEC was formed in 2013. You won 5 games running in the year. When you look back at the year as a whole, what do you see?
Well, you know, you'd like to have a couple of those games at the beginning. Since I've been the head coach, we've won every all-conference game we've had. You know, so this year here we tried to schedule a couple teams that were a little bit better. Both teams were picked at the bottom of the half of their leagues coming into the year, so everyone looked at it and thought, "Oh, you're going to win those games." But I've been in the South Atlantic Conference as a head coach, and I've been in the PSAC as a head coach, so I know what those leagues are about. So I thought those would be tougher tests for us. I was really hoping to win them both. Coming out with a split would have been good. Going to Fairmont and beating them on a Thursday night, it was huge for us.
Really turned the season.
Really turned the season for us. They were picked ahead of us in the league. I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. You know, they had I don't know, a good bit of their team back. They were 8-3 a year ago. So going there and beating them was huge. And then to come back here, Pembroke could beat us. I mean, it felt like 100-0 a year ago, you know, down there, which they beat everybody down there like that.
Yeah.
You know, to come here on that Saturday and beat them and then start the league out 2-0 and to get back to 2-2, I thought was huge for our team's psyche, you know. And then Charleston, loved to have that game back. I feel like if we could have made a couple different play calls in the one drive in the fourth quarter, that game could have been different. Now, if you look at Charleston's schedule, no one's played them really close, and we did. You know, so I don't know if there's a moral victory in there. I know it sure doesn't feel like it. The one game, Frostburg at our place, I thought I played it a little too conservatively, and that was kind of our MO at that time. I like to have that game back. They didn't win after us. I just tell everyone that we played them so good that we know, but that ain't true. And then you know, to go to Concord, to have the close games on the road and win them in the games here, I mean, you know, to finish it with 5 straight wins, it tells you a little bit about our kids and their mental makeup to come back from, because everyone was writing them off when they were 2-4. You know, for them to win those last 5 and finish second in the league tells you a little bit about who they are as people.
And you mentioned the change in the schedule where you've won all your non-conference games. I know they were picked at the bottom, but they were kind of teams on the rise. Does that kind of, do you like that style where you play those tougher teams?
I do. I mean, Emory and Henry finished what, 8-2, 9-2 in the SAC?
Yeah, they were pretty good this year.
Yeah, they were really good.
And Lock Haven lost some games, but they were like one-score games every single game.
Well, they had Cal beat, who's in the playoffs. They had IUP beat, who's a perennial power. They hadn't beat dead to rights. I think they run out of gas a little bit. But no, I think it's better because really what matters is the league, you know. And I don't know, those other teams in years past tested us as well, and we weren't quite as good in the league. So I thought, you know, doing that, maybe that did help us win some of these close games in the league. Yeah. Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on today, and congrats on a good season. Thank you. All right, thanks for watching the Mike Kellar Show.